Hey guys, Josh here back with another rant. Today I wanted to talk about just because I returned doesn't mean I regressed. It's kind of a fucking long title, but just bear with me. Uh basically, this is for if you ever in your life, I'm sure we all have or eventually will. If you ever end up in like an old situation, whether it's you end up getting back with an ex-girlfriend or boyfriend, making amends, or talking to old friends again or family, whatever it may be. Just because you return to an old situation does not mean that you have to be that same person that you were in that situation before. That is another mouthful. My bad. But yeah, just because you're back in with the same person that you were with a couple years ago, or the same people that are in your circle a couple years ago, you end up back there, doesn't mean you're the same version of yourself that you were back then. And another thing, like I mentioned in the last video, make sure you don't regress. Like I said, if you're up here now, when you used to be down here in the situation, you're up here, just because you're back in with the same people doesn't mean you need to slip back down to the old version of yourself. Just as time goes on and you learn yourself more, I feel like you become a better person. Then maybe you can approach the situation differently than, the younger version of yourself did. And that can either lead to good or bad things, depending on whatever type of situation it is. But yeah, just because you end up in the same situation you used to be in the past does not mean you're the same person, and does not mean it unravels or overwrites all the growth that you've made as a person. And that's important to remember. If you're a very like clingy and anxious attachment type of person, and you were with someone and you're like latching onto them and you can only be happy when you're with them, and then inevitably the relationship does not work out, some time passes and you end up back with that same person, and you become a lot more independent, then it's the same person, but you both have changed. Especially you've changed a lot, so you're not going to be clinging onto them for attachment or for happiness to be okay and to live. You're able to comfort yourself, and in turn the relationship plays out differently, even though it's the same person. And I think that's really beautiful and really interesting. And life is always throwing curveballs, and you never know what the next episode holds. So yeah, every day you learn yourself more, you do better, you become the best person you can be. Don't beat yourself up for hanging out with people that maybe didn't work out in the past. Sometimes things happen for a reason, basically. But also make sure you protect yourself, and like I said, don't regress. Juice on Instagram. I love you guys. Adios.